ESPN is in search for strategic partners, and they've had early talks about partnerships with the NBA, the NFL, and MLB. What that means and more, we'll go over in this video. Disney CEO Bob Iger has talked about bringing a strategic partner or partners into ESPN in an interview with CNBC. ESPN has held early talks specifically with the NBA, the NFL, and the MLB. Disney's also mentioned that they put up roughly a third of their company up for sale. This is according to Bloomberg. Disney declared that their linear TV assets are non-core, thus the reasoning for their sale or potential sale. This includes TV networks ABC, FX, and Freeform. ESPN has been in talks of being for sale or being divested over the last few years and decades, but it almost seems like Disney's okay with holding it onto them, albeit reducing their potential equity in the company for growth and to reduce risk. And this is where the NBA, the NFL, and the MLB come in. The potential to strike a deal with the leagues would be unprecedented, but would also give ESPN and Disney a safety net that it would receive premium content from the leagues. So what would the potential issues be with the NBA, the NFL, and the MLB potentially investing or being a partner with ESPN? A jointly owned subscription streaming service among multiple leagues could give customers new packages of games and other innovative ways to take in content. They could have premium content, more content, exclusive content that there hasn't been previous before, or if it was out there, it might not have been easily recognizable and easily accessible. From a flip side, it might not make sense for the NBA, the NFL, and the MLB to be a part of this deal. The reasoning why is because they deal with multiple different media rights and media rights deals with different media partners that fuel team revenue and league revenue, player salaries, that could be potentially tarnished going forward. For instance, there could be a conflict of interest for these competitors if these leagues take a deal with ESPN. These competitors are the likes of Comcast, which is NBC, Fox, Amazon, Paramount, Apple, YouTube, and many more. By potentially becoming an owner of ESPN, the leagues could potentially cut off huge revenue sources by not having a bidding war for sporting rights. On the flip side, there might be more accessibility for their programming, the sports, and other content where they might even make more money. Obviously, that would be something they would have to work out. And there's also the enterprise value that ESPN might bring to those leagues. From a journalistic point of view, ESPN employs hundreds of journalists over multiple different sports, and selling an ownership to one or multiple of these leagues, NBA, NFL, and MLB, could cloud the perception of the objectivity of ESPN's reporting apparatus. Why would you badmouth or downtalk, negative talk one of these leagues if it's your owner? Disney and ESPN have realized that streaming and digital first is the future, and they're trying to turn their business model from traditional TV to more online presence. By selling a minority stake, or by potentially selling a minority stake in ESPN to the leagues, they could potentially mitigate future rights payments, which could allow Disney and even ESPN to better compete against other companies. It could also potentially guarantee ESPN a steady flow of premium content from the leagues. If you look at NFL, for instance, Hard Knocks on HBO, which is Max or whatever that is nowadays, is super popular. And now Netflix has a show called Quarterbacks. What if those shows were part of Disney's or ESPN's premium content? Or what if they made these content for other platforms? It would give Disney or ESPN and these leagues more options and potential revenue sources, not only grow their money, but also grow their brand and their players, especially with all these leagues focusing on international expansion in one sort or the other, whether it be through actual expansion through fan bases, through players, media rights. The ability to reach further, potentially through ESPN as well, could be a talking point. The future of ESPN would be ESPN potentially morphing into a streaming hub for all live sports. They kind of do that with ESPN Plus, but it's really not organized well. Could be better. Bob Iger did say, if a partner comes to the table with value, whether there's content value, distribution value, whether it's capital, whether it just helps de-risk the business, that wouldn't be the primary driver. But if they come to the table with value that enables ESPN to make a transition to direct-to-consumer offering, we're going to be open-minded about this. Disney appears to be pushing the envelope on its thinking to prepare for a streaming-dominated world that includes its full portfolio of sports rights. It should be interesting to see if ESPN and Disney do sell minority investments to the NBA and the NFL and the MLB. What are your thoughts on this topic? Do you think they should divest in one regard or another, especially to these leagues? Do you think ESPN has gotten worse or better over the years? We'd love to hear your thoughts, and thanks for watching.